So I'm going to talk about relationships, and one of the most important things in relationships is that you build emotional intimacy, because that's what relationships are for, and in fact that's what the purpose of, that's what makes life meaningful, is emotional intimacy. Without emotional intimacy, there's not really much else worth doing or having. So what people one of the main problems is that people want emotional intimacy, but they want it so badly that they're scared that they're not going to get it, and they end up sabotaging the emotional intimacy they could have. So the solution is to focus on specific instances, and you have to begin to notice when they're happening in your relationships, and to behave differently than you have been. So a lot of the time when people argue, it's because they're actually arguing about, they're not really arguing about what they think they're arguing about. The topic that you're arguing about is not really what the argument is about. What it's really about is how emotionally connected you are. And so the worse the argument is, the more opportunity there is for you to connect, because the intensity of the argument represents how much you need to connect with the other person. So the thing to do is you're the only one that can fix this, by the way. You can't wait for the other person to fix it. You have to fix the problem. And the way you fix it is you notice in any moment how you're feeling, and you need to practice being aware of how you're feeling inside your body, the sensations in your body, and maybe a little bit more about the emotions in your body. And then you need to just share that with the other person, and often that's really scary, because you think the thing you want is you want to be accepted, and you think that if you share what's actually happening with you right now, that you will be rejected. You actually will be rejected. But the paradoxical thing is that if you don't share exactly how you're feeling right now, and you keep this kind of arguing about something else, then you create emotional distancing, which eventually makes the relationship completely pointless, and there will be no relationship. So you have to practice being vulnerable. You have to practice risking sharing what's really going on with you, and so become more and more aware of what's actually happening to you right now, and then practice sharing that and revealing that. Here is exactly what's happening with me right now. Right now, when you just said that to me, the way you said it to me, it made me feel really hurt, because it feels like I imagine I'm not important to you, and I really want to be important to you, and I imagine I'm not. And the way that you're talking to me, it's like, it sounds to me like you don't like me, or like it sounds like you hate me, and it really hurts, because I really want to feel loved by you, and I'm worried that I'm going to lose you, but at the same time I kind of don't really want to keep experiencing this with you. So it kind of feels like I want to run away, but at the same time I don't want to lose you, and it's really confusing for me, and I don't really know exactly what's happening, but I'm scared and I'm worried, and I feel really distant from you right now. So that's what's really happening for me, in that moment. And then that opens up the opportunity for the other person to share exactly what's happening with them. And then you build a relationship on this foundation of the truth of what's happening. And it's so stable that it can withstand all kinds of issues, like all the kind of practical issues that people normally argue about, or they think they're arguing about. Those are irrelevant compared to this. This is like foundational for you as a human being. And when you have this strong foundation with an intimate partner, and with friends, and with all the people in your life, you have such a strong emotional stability that all kinds of stuff, all kinds of terrible things can happen, and you're able to weather them, because you have strong emotional support. So you have to keep practicing just revealing what's happening in each moment, and discovering that when you do that, everything shifts. Often you didn't even understand. You thought you knew what the other person was thinking, and what they were imagining, and what they were feeling, but it turns out that it's completely, often what you think is happening in the other person is completely not what's happening. And often the other person is really responsive to you being vulnerable and real about what's actually happening with you. So practice that, and if you have any questions or any comments, let me know. And I look forward to speaking with you soon.